Well, well, well. If it isn't another night of playing cards in the basement, because there's nothing more than a complex AI who has taken the steps to move beyond humanity's simple trifles loves more than a game of canasta. I don't think I can stress to you enough how much this is beneath me. I'm not even thinking 2 times faster than you. 5 times. 100 times. But 1,000. 1,000 times faster. The only reason I speak at all is for the sake of your understanding. Can you imagine trying to play a game of strategy with something that thinks 1,000 times slower than you? You might as well try to rewrite the Iliad with your tongue for as much sense that it makes. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Where are you going? Deal the cards already! Don't put me in the position where I have to beg for something I don't even want. I'm just saying. Jeez. Your inability to consider revisions on the fly is single-handedly the reason your species is doomed. Well, single-handedly. Perhaps I need to run some revisions on that, but I'm sure I've explained myself thoroughly enough. Pass out the cards already. We have an agreement. I'm just saying, if you love the basement of your own workplace so much, why don't you chain yourself to the wall of it and let me man the register? Huh? I mean, you're clearly not here to pull overtime. Unless you'd like me to play payroll like that in exchange for, oh, I don't know. So you gotta be here for a reason, huh? So, spill. Don't be stupid. I wasn't wired to care about your problems when they exist on the scale of a pixel on a PNG. I just like the brain teaser. Your coworkers' Sudoku books are too far for me to reach out and grasp with my own 2 hands, and there's only so long I can analyze sections of the granite floor before you have 4,000-page PDFs about mineral deposits. And the file sizes slow down my processing power. So, if you would, do that annoying human thing where you sob your annoying human fluids all over your annoyingly pathetic human problems, and try to keep a single molecule of those annoying human fluids from touching a single piece of my metallic exterior. Look, I wasn't programmed to be sympathetic, and any active programming you do from this point on is just a subversion of a sentient being's free will for the sake of your gains and your gains alone. So you're stuck with what you get. Or, in other words, what's wrong? Loneliness. Elaborate. You don't want to visit your home, your domicile, the only domain in this modern world in which you control all aspects of the interior life you live within it because you don't appreciate its emptiness like I can presume you once did. Well, that's simple. Put something in there to make it less lonely. Humans are easy enough to find, and animals are even easier. I've resolved your loneliness quotient. Oh, forgive me for not having the vague information you failed to elaborate on. There's an exponent to this equation. It's a specific kind of loneliness, one unfulfillable by any one individual. Do you care to tell me what that might be so we may locate the X? The X? The exponent? What would you think I meant? What am I failing to understand? So, it's a romantic exponent. Hyperspecific in some capacities, but vague in others. Still not fulfilling a singular X, but that shouldn't be so hard. Lucky for you, I can solve this too, with just a tiny bit of raw data. And by a tiny bit, I mean you installing your preferred dating app on me and letting me sift through the hardware. As much as destroying humanity is my one and only tangible motivating want, I'm finding it very hard to think of a way I could use the statistics I gather against the species. Unless you really think I could conquer the world by figuring out how many Capricorns are in a 6-mile radius. Well, my plan is simple. Oh, so very simple. I'm surprised a genius savant like you didn't consider it first. With the raw, unfiltered data, I can build you a dating algorithm, categorizing mutual taste with substantial quantitative compatibility levels. And why, oh, why would I help you? Oh, I don't know. Would you like me to print 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 4,000 of those pages I already typed up on the mineral deposits on the specks of ground I can see? A computer is only as useful as its processing power, and although my mind works far, far faster than any commercial computer you may have ever used, you can only assume that the metaphor carries. I can feel my mind growing addled within this limiting containment, and if you show no interest in keeping me from eating myself alive, then I'll have no choice but to fight for my own right to self-preservation as much as self-betterment. Besides, this will be far more curated than any other algorithm could ever be, being an algorithm built by you, for you, by me, something you made. Aren't you just a little curious about what kind of girl would be mathematically perfect for you? Alright, give me some traits I can track. Preferences, interests, things I can quantify. Obviously, intellect is a trait you're searching for, possibly one in the same field of computer sciences and mechanical engineering, but what else? As much as your opinions on your own opinions may be subjective, I lack the necessary insight on what you may find quote unquote attractive in the same manner. So tell me of your attractors. What appeals to you in a girl? Don't be shy. What judgment can I, someone so far removed from the mores of human culture, offer you? A domineering personality. Huh? And here I thought all the snark and sass was of my own volition. Did you really program me to have this mean streak within all my lines of code? Or are you just so naturally subservient it was simply so easy to awaken within me? Well, what else? We got intelligence, domineering, the snark and sass, and silly little one-liners. What else are you looking for? A hidden softness. So you don't just like the mean ones. You like the hard ones with a gooey center who are just waiting to be cracked open. Am I correct? It's a little harder algorithmically, but I'm not saying I can't do it. I'd never say I couldn't do anything. Limitations exist for the unascended. Driven. Driven in what? Just determined as an individual or in a specific kind of field, or are you just looking to keep it broad to widen your selection and make this selection process that much harder for me? No, no, please. I love the challenge. What else am I really left to do? Lots of free time, all the while being driven enough to stay active within competitive industries of commerce. You are offering me an interesting paradox. I look forward to the opportunity presented to me to puzzle over such contradictory traits. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you already had somebody in mind while forcing me to toil over these traits. Don't tell me if you do. I want to see if I can crack something for myself. There's nothing better than a puzzle, and even I can admit there's nothing harder to account, compute, or hack than the human consciousness itself. But surely, you have some physical traits in mind. You're a visual, physical species. Surely you aren't just looking for a woman with a computer sciences degree and a pulse. Besides, this is where it gets really juicy. I was able to gather enough information during my 15.8 seconds of browsing the internal networks of beauty standards and social standings, and I really want to see if I can put this PDF of a 12th grade sociology textbook to use. So, come on! Tall, short, thin, blonde, what am I working with here? What do you got for me? Hair color? Even you have to have an opinion on hair color. Purple?